Enrolled for 14 children, no children here, and this is from the state of California. We're not targeting Somalian population, we're just going after daycares, and just so happens to be that all the daycares, they are Somalian so far. Where are the children at, ma'am? 14 children. Would you like to make a statement as to where the children are?
Democrat Assemblywoman Mia Bonta is pushing a bill critics say could make it harder to expose fraud. It's called the Privacy for Immigration Support Service Providers. Critics are calling it, though, the Stop Nick Shirley Act.
He's uncovering fraud, and what you're doing is mocking him?
Right. You should go, oh, that's fraud.
Yeah.
I'm the governor.
They should just open up the investigations into all these places immediately if you cared, but all they want to do is just obfuscate, cover it up, make it look silly.
Shirley just exposed California frauds that have been hidden for years, and Gavin Newsom is in shock. But instead of ordering an investigation, Newsom did something that nobody expected. Before we move further, if you enjoy short commentary videos with full breakdowns, take just 2 seconds to subscribe to the channel. Alright, now let's get back to our video.
That most of the fraud is in a lot of these blue cities. And when you go out and expose the fraud, I mean, I think Gavin Newsom, he posted a photo of me the other day and had 10 cameras on me, an AI generated image saying, where are the kids, trying to depict me as a pervert for exposing fraud. How sick does a governor have to be to say that the kid exposing the fraud is the bad person versus the fraudsters that are stealing the money?
Straight from Nick's own mouth, the governor of California, instead of launching an investigation, he responded by posting an AI-generated meme trying to make Nick look strange. Critics say this is exactly what a governing class does when it can't defend its record: attack the messenger and try to make the public forget the actual crime. According to Fox News and multiple outlets, Newsom's press office really did post that meme in March 2026, depicting Nick as a strange man with cameras asking a daycare, "Hey, can I see your kids?" To Nick, that alone tells you everything about who's really protecting the fraud.
14 children enrolled here on the state of California. It says there's 14 children enrolled here.
You don't care.
I do care. Then where are the children? Where are the children at? Where are the children at? Where are the children at, ma'am? Alright, so what she's doing, she's making a video right now. She's going to send it out all to all the other daycares. But at the end of the day, enrolled for 14 children, no children here. And this is from the state of California. We're not targeting Somalian population. We're just going after daycares. And just so happens to be that all the daycares, they are Somalian so far. Where are the children at, ma'am? 14 children. Would you like to make a statement as to where the children are?
You don't care where is my children are.
Ma'am, we would not be here if we weren't asking you.
You don't care. You don't care.
What do you mean we don't care? This is why we're here.
And don't record me. You don't care.
This is why we're here, to ask about these daycares.
Ask me who you are. Who you are.
My name's Nick Shirley. You already know that.
Shirley. I know, but you a trouble man.
How are we making trouble? You're causing trouble.
Let me call 911.
We just want to know where the children are.
No, I'm calling 911.
For what?
You.
For what?
You come to my house.
We haven't done anything.
I don't know.
Children on paper, 0 children in the building, and a director who can't answer a single question. Critics say this is not a filing mistake. This is not a bookkeeping error. This is fraud caught on camera in real time. And the moment Nick asks the one obvious question, where are the children, the immediate response is a threat to call the police. In Nick's view, that reaction alone is the
visits. The state inspectors have shown up. There's kids enrolled anywhere from 7 kids and up, and every single time the state has showed up, 0.
0 children.
That's the state of California.
We're just asking for some clarification. They won't even answer any of our questions.
So essentially, a house just like this is receiving money from government subsidies without actually running a daycare. Meanwhile, they get money from the government as they run their fake daycare.
Visits. 0 kids every single time. Nick's own footage shows the state inspectors have shown up over and over and never once found the children who are supposedly enrolled at these locations. To Nick, this isn't a mistake. This is a system. Houses collecting taxpayer money to run daycares that don't exist. Critics say this is exactly the kind of institutional rot that can only survive when the people at the top choose to look the other way.
They don't even have an inbox available to take in a voicemail. And another thing to take note of is Gavin Newsom right now in Polymarket. He is the leading nominee for the Democrats come 2028. all this fraud's taking place, all this waste is taking place. Nobody really knows what's going on. I mean, look at this place. This adult daycare received $19 million, has billed the state of California over $19 million in the past few years. This is all taking place here. So that is something to think about come 2028 with Gavin Newsom leading the Democrats right now.
$1 million to one adult daycare in just a few years. And nobody in the state government seems to have noticed. Critics say this is the exact scale of the problem Nick keeps trying to warn people about. And the timing could not be worse for the governor. According to Polymarket, Gavin Newsom is currently the leading Democratic candidate for president in 2028. In Nick's view, this is the man asking to run the entire country, while $19 million scams are happening under his own nose in his...
These hospices pop up here. Why is hospice and home health care such a booming business right now?
I think it's become a trend of fraud. Honestly has. I heard about this about 5 years ago during COVID, that people were building hospices and selling them. It was like a business these people made. So it's an easy way to build Medicare with their people's beneficiary numbers that people can easily steal and even purchase and buy. They buy numbers from people and tell them, give me your Medicare beneficiary number and I will give you something in return.
And what does that mean, give you my beneficiary number?
So there's an ID that you have. Medicare gives you, Medicare is for anybody 65 and over. So they'll give you a Medicare ID number. And that number is what's used to bill Medicare.
So essentially, if they can get a number from somebody, it's almost like getting a credit card number. And then from there, they can continue to bill and bill and bill and get that Medicare money.
Exactly. It's actually more beneficial than finding a credit card these days. Anybody can get a hospice license, actually. You don't need to be a physician. You don't need to be a doctor. You can apply and get a hospice license in the state of California. They bill, they take the Medicare numbers, they bill Medicare, the Medicare sends them a check right away. It's an easy process.
So an old person might be a bit naive to giving somebody their Medicare number, yes. And without them even knowing, that's more valuable than giving them their credit card.
Beneficiary numbers, traded like credit card numbers on the street. Fake hospices popping up on every corner. Nobody needs to be a doctor. Nobody needs a real facility. All you need is a license, some elderly people's ID numbers, and a bank account to receive the government checks. To Nick, this isn't a bug in the system. This is the business model.
And Nyes, where there is home health care and hospice fraud literally everywhere.
With the fraud here, California ranks the highest for Medicare, Medicaid, Medi-Cal, whatever you want to call it. They spend the most amount of money per state. And here in LA, 1 out of every $10 that goes towards home health care in the United States goes to a business here in LA. Right now we're in Van Nuys. This location has tons of hospice centers, home health care centers, and right now we are going to Gardens of Angels Hospice. They billed $4.8 million per beneficiary. They charged $5,807 with 28.6 claims per patient and only 2 codes, which means 2 services were provided. And inside of this same location, there's also Blossom Hospice, and they received $3.4 million with $6,000 per beneficiary at $927 per claim and only 1 code, which means they only provided 1 service. And it looks like there's about 15 more hospice centers inside this one plaza we're going to right now. We have all the information with us. In some of these places, it doesn't even look like they've been registered with the CMS, which is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. 7 of the 4 entities have 0 SMS data, possibly shell registrations, shell company.
Every $10 spent on home health care in the entire United States goes to a single Los Angeles operation. Read that again. 1/10 of the entire nation's home health care money is landing in one city. Individual hospices, billing $4.8 million per beneficiary, shell companies, with 0 paperwork registered with federal Medicare authorities. In Nick's view, this isn't a small-time operation. This is an industrial-scale fraud empire operating in broad daylight while the governor of California is busy posting AI memes about the guy exposed.
Hey, he's doing your job. He's uncovering fraud, and what you're doing is mocking him?
Right. You should go, oh, this fraud?
Yeah.
I'm the governor.
They should just open up the investigations into all these places immediately if you cared, but all they want to do is just obfuscate, cover it up, make it look silly.
Yeah.
Make it look like he's something, whatever he is, white supremacist.
Right. MAGA.
Nazi, whatever, MAGA. Come up.
Rogan just said the quiet part out loud on his podcast. Nick is doing the governor's job for him, and instead of thanking him, the governor's office is trying to smear him. Critics say this is the tell. When the state's response to a fraud expose is to attack the person exposing it, you've already admitted the expose is
Democrat Assemblywoman Mia Bonta is pushing a bill critics say could make it harder to expose fraud. It's called the Privacy for Immigration Support Service Providers. Critics are calling it, though, the Stop Nick Shirley Act. What would it do? Well, it would let eligible individuals keep their home addresses confidential. It would also ban the sharing of photos or personal information that could lead to any type of harassment or harm online. And it allows victims to seek $4,000 in damages, and it subjects the violators to fines of up to $10,000 or even a year in jail if you are found in violation of the Privacy for Immigration Support Service.
One more time, Democratic Assemblywoman Mia Bonta introduced a bill nicknamed by critics the Stop Nick Shirley Act that would make it much harder to expose this kind of fraud. $10,000 in fines, up to 1 year behind bars, for asking questions. In Nick's view, this is exactly what happens when the ruling class gets caught. They don't fix the crime. They ban the reporting. And then Nick himself explains just how insane this bill really is.
California is actually crazy. They just passed AB 2624, aka the Stop Nick Shirley Act, to make it harder to investigate and expose fraud inside of the state of California. Now this bill, AB 2624, is so bad that just since March 26th, they've already created 4 different versions of this bill because of the pushback that they have received, because it is a direct violation of the First Amendment, and quite literally they are trying to shill other people, not just journalists, but anybody inside the state of California, to look into fraud, specifically inside of immigration support services providers. They're trying to make it illegal to expose
versions of the bill in just a few weeks. That is how bad it is. According to Nick, the pushback has been so severe that California has had to rewrite this thing over and over just to try to survive the First Amendment challenges. Critics say the fact that this bill exists at all proves everything Nick has been saying. If there was no fraud, why would the state need a law to stop people from
They're trying to make it so citizen journalists or just average Americans who are going about seeing what's happening inside their community, they're trying to scare them from talking about potential fraud taking place inside of these communities. And think about it. They're literally willing to impose a $10,000 fine or imprisonment if you go and seek to find out the truth about a location that could potentially be fraudulent inside your own neighborhood.
$1,000 fine or jail time for being a journalist, for being a curious citizen, for walking up to a business in your own neighborhood and asking a few questions. To Nick, this is the definition of state overreach designed to protect the fraudsters and punish the whistleblowers. Critics say the message from California is unmistakable. Don't dig, don't ask, don't film, or the state will come after you instead of the people stealing.
That's why you saw the reaction afterwards, because I just pretty much dropped the fraud bomb and everyone else had to react to it. And you saw how these governors, these congresswomen reacted. They actually defended the fraud and called people like me far-right delusional conspiracy theorists.
Fraud. Read those words one more time. Not the whistleblower, not the taxpayer, not the children who don't exist inside empty daycares. The fraud itself. Nick Shirley's Minnesota investigation racked up over 138 million views on X alone. He testified before Congress in January. He got the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to actually launch a probe. All of that came from one guy with a camera and the guts to knock on doors. Meanwhile, the governor of the largest state in America and his allies criticized him instead of the violators. Critics say this is the moment the political class showed the country whose side they're really on. And in Nick's view, this fight isn't over. It's just getting started. Because every empty daycare, every fake hospice, every $1 million shell company he uncovers is one more piece of evidence that the same people asking for your vote in 2028 are the same people covering up the scandals today. Now I want to hear from you. So tell me, is Nick Shirley the most important independent journalist in America right now? Should Gavin Newsom be forced to answer for the fraud happening on his own watch? And can any Democrat survive 2028 with this kind of record behind them? Drop your answer in the comments. Hit that like if you agree. Nick said exactly what needed to be